So we're recording on both ends. We got the live stream going. Let me open the show notes. Is there anything you want to touch on before we actually start the show? I honestly threw these show notes together this morning, and I have not really thought about any of the topics to a great deal.
It's all good. I've been watching Steam Deck videos for the past like half an hour or so.
Me too.
So I got that, but we can start with the cold open.
I have show notes here for like a few different games, and I was like, oh, well, I'll watch a video about those before we start the show. But then every time I open YouTube, I'm like, oh, there's a new Steam Deck video. I'll just watch that. I made a list here of everything that we currently know about the Steam Deck, and then like I said, I've got one pre-ordered. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm super stoked. So for the first pre-orders, they're saying that it could be as early as December of 2021, which to me seems way too. I can't believe they're that.
Yeah,
they're already that ready to release. But
most people were talking like not till the end of or the beginning of next year. They were saying.
Yeah. So in the show notes, I've already had to change it because it changed throughout the course of from the time that I wrote the show notes to now. Whenever you went to the pre-order website, it was saying expected release Q1 of 2022. Well, I typed that in the show notes, and then before we went on the air, it changed to Q2 of 2022, and now it may be even higher. Just so many people are ordering these things, and they just keep pushing the expected release back. But I believe that it's still in waves, so if you were part of that first wave, your pre-order, I don't know, maybe this is wishful thinking, but if you're in that first wave, your pre-order is expected to release in December, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the lowest priced one just because I don't see myself paying more than $400 for a handheld device.
I have things to say about that.
Yeah. No, I was on the fence about it, and I can still change it. But if I change it, then I have to do the.
You'll have to deal with the longer wait time.
Right, exactly. And I think I want one because I think it's cool, but I mostly want it as a handheld computer as much as I want a handheld gaming device.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying console, but it really is a PC. It's just a handheld PC.
Yep.
It's a laptop that you can't fold.
That's right, yeah. So, and they were doing a thing, but I think it actually ends tomorrow. But right now, if you have a Steam account that was created it has to be created before June. If you created an account between the time that there was like the announcement and now, it's not allowing you to do the pre-release because they're worried about scalpers. They're worried about people that just made an account so that they could buy the pre-release.
Wow!
But that actually
that's a good idea.
It's a good idea, but legitimately you could have made an account in June, or legitimately you may have not had a Steam account and you saw the announcement and you're like, oh, I better make a Steam account because I want this thing.
But they're trying everything to stop these scalpers. I mean, and nothing seems to be working.
I appreciate the try. It is what it is, but I think they're making it pretty available. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
from what I've heard, I didn't actually try to get one because I don't have that money to spend.
It was
like a Christmas gift.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of counting on the money will be there by the time they're asking me for it. I don't have the $400 today, but it was only $5 to do the whole. And then you have to pay. It's going to be SteamOS, but you can install any OS you want on it. You could buy this thing.
You can install Windows.
Yeah, you can install Windows. I've been seeing every reviewer say that. I've been seeing every reviewer say, "Oh yeah, you could just buy it and then you can install Windows." I don't know. The specs on this thing's pretty good. It might be all right, but I just can't imagine that being any good. I mean,
no, I would rather personally stream the stuff from my desktop than install Windows on it because that you're giving up at least double the RAM for Windows. To install it immediately right out of the box.
I don't see how Windows, which was not designed to run on this product, but can. It's like people that install Windows on a Raspberry Pi. It's like, yes, you can, but why would you ever do that? Why would you waste those resources?
I don't even know how you can do it without an 8 gig Raspberry Pi anyway.
Yeah, I know. You'd have to have. Yeah, it's crazy. There might be some build of Windows for Raspberry Pi. I'm not sure, but
yeah, there probably is.
But it would be made by somebody. I'm sure Microsoft didn't put it out.
Right.
But it's also heavily relying on Proton, which is fantastic. Because I don't know if you saw this, but there's already game developers that are saying that they will develop their game to work on the new Steam Deck, which means that it will work on Proton. So this is inadvertently helping every Linux gamer out there just because this device is coming out.
And I heard a couple people say something to the effect that Steam said, or Valve said, that they were going to have every game working that can work for Windows. Now I don't know what they mean by that. I only heard a couple people say that, so I don't know if it's even a thing.
I don't know if that's possible because
that's
just because they just can't touch every game.
Right.
But
maybe they meant AAA games. I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Now, as you and I know, and many listeners of the podcast, like an overwhelming percentage of Windows games on Steam run on Proton. Like, it's not even. I remember on Mintcast a few years ago, we were doing our predictions for the next year, and I said, "Oh, this was like the year Proton came out," and I said, "Oh, by this time next year, I believe that games will not only be available on Proton, it'll be more than 75% of the Steam library, and I believe that games will start to advertise that they are available to play on Proton."
Right.
And I feel like this is now the fruition of that. I'm like 3 years too late, but I think that this is this is what I was predicting, because now that the Steam Deck exists, games will advertise that they're playable on the Steam Deck and Steam OS.
Right. They won't even mention Proton. They'll just say it is available on the Steam Deck.
Right, exactly. And that's been the funniest thing for me as like a Linux gamer, watching reviews of this product by non-Linux, gaming companies.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is relying heavily on Steam's product called Proton, and it's like some kind of like compatibility layer between Steam OS, which is Linux based, and what should be Windows. It's like so funny, and I'm like, my whole world is wrapped up in Proton right now.
I know.
Like
that's
literally,
how we've been working this out for years now.
But I think that whole aspect of it is what I'm excited about the most. I hope that this product is like a huge success. And
yeah, me too. I really have high expectations for the sale and the what am I trying to say? The people actually wanting the product. But I'm wary because Valve has canceled things before.
I know. I'm a little worried about that.
I'm not as worried about this product for that as I was with the other ones, because this one seems to be something that they're really going for. Like,
and I think this is something that they've been trying to do, but they've not known how to do it for a long time. So we had Steam boxes in the past. But whenever you looked at a Steam box, it's basically something you could build on your own. And not only that, but like their philosophy is very open, and they're like, trying to give people the ability. They're like, hey, you know what? You could build your own Steam box, and we're not going to stop you. Here's Steam OS. Go have at it, Hoss. And I think that there's just a lot of people that just, well, I'm not going to buy one then. I'm just going to make my own. Or I'll use this old computer I have,
Plus, that was third-party people who built the Steam boxes. They never actually built their own, as far as I know.
I don't even know. I wasn't even aware of that, but that's another good point. And I feel like this is their way of like getting the Steam box literally in the hands of people.
Right.
Like this is something that you could not just go build on your own, but yet still fulfills that legacy of what they intended the Steam box to be. This thing that you can hook up to your TV, that you can leave your desktop and still use their ecosystem away from your desktop. And so I wouldn't doubt it. And I've heard this a lot, but I think it's probably true given the specs of this device. But this $399 version is probably at a loss. They're probably selling these.
Oh, yeah.
At a loss.
They're either at cost or at a loss.
Yep. So that way you are using their environment, their ecosystem on their device, and that's where they really make the money. Because Steam makes dude, Steam makes so much money that Valve decided to never make another Half-Life game. That's how profitable Steam is. And so
that is a good point. That is a very, very good point.
Right. So if they can have you doing that from your toilet, then that's a huge success for them.
Yeah. No, that is a great point that they well, I mean, they did release Half-Life Alyx.
Yes, you almost choked when you said it. Yeah, I want to play Half-Life Alyx so bad, but I don't want to buy.
Nope, I'm never gonna buy a VR until it's good.
Yeah,
I just what I've played with VR is just nope.
Yeah, there's basically 2 games that I want VR for, and I bought a PlayStation 3. It's PlayStation 4, whichever one that Metal Gear Solid 4 came out on.
Right.
I basically only bought that because I wanted to play Metal Gear Solid 4. That was the only reason. I didn't get it right when it came out. I worked at Best Buy. I saw the damn thing on the shelf like every day, and like for like a few years, and then finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy Metal Gear Solid 4, and that was the whole reason I did that. I can't warrant buying a $800 to $1,000 device for 2 games.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's definitely, that was my struggle with the Xbox as well with Halo. I was like, do I really need the new Xbox just for Halo? I'm like, oh, it's out on PC? No more.
Yeah, really. So the Metal Gear games started coming out on PC too. So they have 3 different models, the $399, $529, and $649. And respectively, they are 64 gigs, 256 gigs, and 512 gigs. But they also have a difference in their hard drive type. So from the $399, you have the eMCC, which is like, I guess, just like flash storage.
Yeah, it's basically, it's kind of like a SD card, but it's better. I think they said. Yeah, I know they said theoretically they can get up to 500 megabytes read speeds. And that's theoretic. That's not like, what they actually will get.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're much slower than NVMe drives. Or even SATA SSDs.
Right. And then the 256 and the 512 are NVMe SSD.
Right. But the 512 one is a faster NVMe than the 256. Yeah, it's the same. I think it's the same one, but it's the 512 is a faster model of that same model. Okay. Don't quote me on that, but I was watching a lot of videos on it, and that's what one guy said.
So the thing, my thought on this was, well, for one thing, I just didn't want to go up to $529. I know it's $130 more, but I'm already spending $400.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to go up.
I know where you're coming from there.
But I also was thinking that even at 256 gigs, we're not talking about handheld games. We're talking about desktop performance games.
Yeah.
Some of these games
upwards of 50 gigs.
Right. 50, 60 gigs.
60, yep.
There's games.
Even 100 for some of them. I have a game, Atlas, it's called. It's 112 gigs. 112 gigs.
Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is like 116 gigs or something.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So my impression on it is you're going to be using SD cards. Like,
oh yeah. Yep.
Whatever you want to really run fast, you'll have on your NVMe drive, but everything else you're going to have to start putting on SD cards. I don't see how you could do it any other way. And so I think,
well, they have a lightning port.
Yeah.
you could just hang an SSD off of that.
That's true. Yeah, they have
walking around with an SSD hanging down.
You probably could do that actually, because it's just a PC. It's not.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can hook it up to a monitor and what do you want to call it?
Would you Velcro to the back of it?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, the device to me, just the look of it is sick. I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
I've heard people complain about the placement of the buttons up at the top. I don't know that that's the best placement. I get that it looks weird, but I also don't use handheld devices. The last handheld device I used was a Game Boy. I've not used a handheld device, so I have no idea how it's going to feel when I hold it. But as far as just the look of it, I think it looks great. It's large, but it's not like too large. I feel like it's something I could carry with me a lot. I could keep it in my backpack.
Yeah.
I think that in some ways this will be a replacement for my laptop. My laptop's getting a little old, and I basically only use my laptop to watch Netflix. I like never use it for anything real. So I mean, I probably won't, like, instead of replacing my laptop, I'll just start using a tablet or use this device. And I'll carry it with me more than I carry my laptop. My laptop's huge. Yeah,
I mean, you can't even compare this to any tablet other than an iPad. And even that you can't compare it to because this is a full-blown PC.
Right, it's a full-blown PC. So that's another thing too, is like you can dock this. So they're going to sell a dock that's sold separately. But even if you don't have the dock, you can just use a USB-C dongle. And you can literally just set this at a monitor, mouse, and keyboard, and it's now a $400 gaming PC. And I don't know.
Now your mileage will vary with that though, because you're going up with screen resolution and all that stuff. The reason why this works so well in the form factor that it is because of the monitor they chose for it.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to point out. Is it's because it's a 720p screen, but it's actually like 1280 by 800 or something. It's like a pseudo.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah.
But it's that's how it's pulling this off, is because it's able to render at such a low resolution. Last week we accidentally did a demonstration of it because you were talking about your test results with Gravity Mark on a windowed version versus a full screen. That's basically the same thing that's happening here. It's because it's only rendering a 720p screen, then in a handheld device, it can overpower that resolution and give it to you. Right. But if I were to hook this device up to my monitor here, I doubt that it would give me the same FPS as if I were running it from my desktop.
But, unless you're running it at 720p, which you don't want to from that monitor.
Yeah. So so that's great. And again, I haven't used a handheld device since a Game Boy, but I can't imagine I'd want more than 720 on a handheld device. I just don't
especially
think
at that
really...
screen size. Yeah. At that screen size, you got to remember that the pixels per inch is what matters, and as you go down in screen size, the less resolution you need to get that pixel per inch. That that makes a difference. Right.
Let's see. Oh yeah, the chip architecture. So it's using it's AMD, the Zen 2 and the RDNA 2, and this is it's the same technology that's found in the AMD Ryzen 3000 series cards, and the Zen 2 has I can't remember if I think it's 4 cores. It looks like I missed something in my notes
4 cores and 8 threads. Yeah,
that's what it is. But it's capable of 8 threads. Yeah, so basically you have 8 threads CPU and then a Ryzen 3000 chipset. It's obviously not a Ryzen 3000 card in there, but there's a chipset of it. And then it's got 16 gigs of DDR5 memory. So I mean,
that's nice. That's really nice to have in a computer that size.
Yeah, no,
but the funny thing is that this is actually equivalent or more so than the Xbox. The power that this thing can give out, which is amazing at that form factor. I have no idea how they did it. I don't know. Yeah. Now, again, don't quote me on that because I saw somebody say it on YouTube. But
no, I mean, I heard the same thing. It's straight up magic. I don't even know how. I don't know how they pack it in this little package.
I don't know either. And it apparently has a fan because I see fan.
It's got on little holes on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to have a fan. So.
Yeah, how loud's it going to be?
Yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Liquid cool mine. I'm gonna.
You're right. So that's another thing I wanted to add. To the 64 gig version, they said that actually has an NVMe slot in it.
Oh, really?
So it's very hard to get to. They said it's very hard. So you might not want to do it when it's under warranty, but once it's out of warranty, you might want to just open it up and see if you can actually get an NVMe in there.
I don't know how plausible or how I don't know. I have no idea. But if you bought this device and then you could just change out to an NVMe hard drive, that would be astonishing. Wow. Holy cow. This would be my favorite device ever made if that's true. Yeah, it's probably
They should just if they could just somehow change the NVMe connector, where you know how with the NVMe it sticks up a little bit like on an angle, and then you press it down and you screw it in.
Right.
If they could somehow change the connector so that you could just slide it in from the side, how
You could just
amazing
make
would
a
that
slot.
be?
Yeah.
Yeah, to just slide it in like the SD card. How amazing would that be? Like, oh yeah, I want a terabyte. Here I go.
Yeah, that would be amazing, because to me that's one of the drawbacks of this device is, as we were saying earlier, is like everything's going to be on an SD card. Even if you get the 512, you're eventually going to fill that up. Everything's going to be on an SD card. And so
and you know what, the one guy on YouTube was talking about that, and he said he's gonna I want to watch this video eventually, but he said he's gonna do a demonstration on his Razer PC that has a 3080 of why a micro SD card is not a good option for any game, even a terabyte one, because it's so slow that open world games that need to render constantly are gonna be so laggy.
So we'll see what that performance is like. I imagine you're going to want to get the fastest SD card you can get. That's what
you're going to have to. Yeah. Like Samsung or SanDisk. They're a good SanDisk, like not one of the cheap ones.
The ones you get for like those like 4K movie cameras or whatever.
Yep.
Like you're going to want to get those.
Definitely. Yeah.
It also has a 3.5 millimeter jack.
What? Are you kidding me? They fit it in there.
You don't need a little adapter or anything like that. It's got it already on there. And then you have a USB-C we already talked about, but it also has Bluetooth, that I thought was pretty wild. So you could use a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
Yeah, Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. This thing on the go. This thing really is like a little.
This thing is really adding up to be something amazing. Like I don't want to. I really just don't want to hype this thing up, because if it flops. Not because Steam screws up, but because, people just don't buy it.
Oh, people are buying this thing, dude. I
know.
It would be amazing because they're only doing $5 pre-orders. It would be amazing if just like everybody went in on the pre-order and then just decided not to
No, don't say that. No. All the eBay guys get freaking refunds because they couldn't sell them. Don't say that. No, that's horrible.
Yeah, that would be
I didn't even think about that angle.
That would be pretty funny. But no, I'm
fine print. They say no refund.
I would be excited for this device even if I don't know that I paid $400 for it, but it would still be a really impressive device to me, even if all it did was Steam streaming and it was a portable PC in this form factor. I would be excited about it. I would stream all over my house, streaming in the bathtub, be Steam streaming in the front yard, stream all over the place.
Streaming too. You can stream from all the services too, because this has a full-blown OS on it.
Yeah.
You can use Xbox Cloud Gaming. You could use
the NVIDIA Cloud thing.
Yep, NVIDIA Cloud. You can use Stadia. You can use any of them because you can install a browser on it and you can use it.
Yeah, that is just the craziest thing. And
by the way, it runs Arch.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know that. I thought
Me neither. I heard a podcast say it.
I thought SteamOS was Ubuntu based. I swear it was originally. Okay,
it was originally, but this one they rebased it on Arch.
Yeah, that is so freaking sweet. I am gonna have a handheld device that I can sudo pacman-s in. I can't wait for this thing.
Dude, this is gonna be like your portable, man. The only thing that I'm gonna have to, if I were to gotten it, would have to have is a screen protector, because the screen is open and I'm not gonna be carrying that case all over the place.
Yeah, it's not for the most part. It's a touch screen too, and it has tilt functionality and stuff too. So
I forgot. Yeah. I forgot to mention that. I saw somebody on, I don't know if it was IGN or whatever, but they were playing not Half-Life, but the other one that Valve makes, a Portal, and he was tilting the thing like this, and the whatever he was holding would actually go with his tilt.
Yeah, the portal gun.
I was like, what? Yeah. This is amazing. Yeah, the portal gun. Yeah. I've never played that game either. I know I'm a blasphemer, but whatever.
Maybe they can. Oh, you do got to play that game. It is amazing. But maybe they've got they've gonna release Alex on it so that you can do all the.
Dude, that would be kind of cool. Like VR without VR.
Yeah. No, this device looks really, really cool. I can't believe you hadn't played Portal, man. You got to play the Portal games.
Nope, I never played Portal, dude.
That's what you need to do next.
I was so stuck on the RPGs for a long, long time that I never played anything else.
All right, well, I guess that's the end of the show. This one's gonna be a sucker to edit. I gotta edit.
I'm sorry.
Out. No, it's not just you. I gotta edit out my F-bombs. I dropped 2 F-bombs. I gotta go edit out.
You did pretty good though. You can get those pretty good because you restarted at a good point.
Yeah,
you'll be good. You'll be fine.
I'm just so excited about this Steam Deck, man.
I know. I am too. I you know what? I didn't even think about putting it in the show notes at all, and then I read it in here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. We need to talk about that. Obviously, it needs to be put in here.
Whenever it was announced, I was like, oh, this is neat. I think we even said on the show, I don't know if this is marketed for me though. I don't know that this is what I want as a consumer.
We mentioned it because it was before they even released it. They had like a couple like little leaks of something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you were saying about the who is it marketed for, right?
Right. I was like, who's going to buy this thing? I don't know who wants to hand it. But then now that we're seeing all the details on it, I'm so pumped for this thing. I can't wait for it. Like I never thought that they would pack this much in a little handheld. Now, as long as it doesn't take 3 years to come out. See, that'll be what kills it. If it takes forever to actually, they keep pushing back the launch or something. Then by the time it actually comes out, it'll be like, outdated and we won't be interested. But we'll see. I think they're already more prepared than we realize they are. I hope
so.
Yeah. All right. So thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. We're going to do some Garuda reviews. It's going to be a Garuda time, a Garuda good time. And peace.